Super Tuesday. It's presented by Progressive. The SEC on ESPN. Inside a barn that was built in 1952. They are ready to dance. Memorial Gymnasium for a Kentucky Vanderbilt showdown. Jimmy Dykes, Carl Ravitch, Marty Smith in a moment. Why are you watching tonight? Kentucky's 8-2. So is LSU and so is Auburn. If you can win the conference, your seeding in the tournament goes way, way up.
If you're Kentucky, you better be aware, because last week we saw LSU come in here as a top 25 team. Bam, they got popped. Right. Memorial Magic can do some crazy stuff. If Vanderbilt's going to win, they have to hit double-digit threes in the ballgame.
Marty?
For these Kentucky Wildcats to reach their lofty potential, point guard Ashton Hagans has to calm down sometimes. Head coach John Calipari telling us that at times Hagans wants the spectacular play when he needs the easy one. Let the game come to you, young fella, and these Wildcats will soar, guys.
Look at those turnover numbers there in the last 3 games. Not great. What to watch for tonight? The former Carolina star, Jerry Stackhouse, the coach at Vandy, will be wired. Marty, on the Nashville Dreams, not necessarily confined to country music singers. Jimmy's Jet, the national edition. And wait till you see Jimmy's look when he gets into the cockpit. And our Super Tuesday hotline, some fairly famous folks will be dialing in to ask us questions about the SEC. As we're set for the tip. It's controlled by E.J. Montgomery and the blue of Kentucky.
Can I just say this early? There has never been a bad national anthem sung in this building. Not with the talent that you had to pull from Nashville.
And tonight was no exception.
No exception. It was outstanding.
E.J. Montgomery, a little baseline jump hook, no good. As you take a look at the Vanderbilt lineup, as Jimmy said, the only win in conference, and have ended a 26-game skid in conference. Scottie Pippen Jr., the son of Scottie Pippen. Saban Lee's been their outstanding player. Maxwell Evans had 31 in the game against LSU. And they got some size in there that just can't afford to get in foul trouble. Disu lays it up, no good. Rebound Richards, and now Ashton Hagans will push. And he threw it away. Emmanuel Quickly was going to the top of the key to launch a 3.
Yeah, Quickly's got to get to that slot. You can't stop at the top of the key. Full speed transition. Quickly normally so good at running to that opposite side slot area. To have it pass, it sails out of bounds.
A turnover for Hagans, and you wonder, you know, I know it's not his fault, but does it start to creep into your own head?
These last 3 games, Kentucky has not been clean with the basketball, and they have fouled too much.
The defense from behind the block. 3-pointer from the corner, it goes. And that is Scottie Pippen Jr.
Ravi, keep an eye on that number for Vanderbilt tonight. If they make 10, 11, or 12 threes, they are right in this ball game. Not easy to do against Kentucky, the best 3-point defensive team in the league.
Maxey from the free throw line. That's off. Kentucky has to hit a shot. Disu with a good bounce pass. And the reverse is up and in. That's Maxwell Evans. Good start for Vanderbilt.
Maxwell Evans absolutely went off last week in this building against LSU with 31 points, a career high. He and Saban Lee, very difficult to keep them out of the paint.
Quickly on the curl, he's short. Vanderbilt had it, and they will retain it. Pippen Jr. looking to push as Maxey meets him. Alley-oop. In amongst the trees, and it's knocked away, and here comes Hagans. Eduque Obina got eaten up, and Hagans goes to the rack, and he'll get fouled. He'll shoot 2.
And Vanderbilt comes out with a hot start offensively, and they knock down a corner 3, but then in transition, a really good job by Maxwell Evans to get to the opposite side of the rim. You have to match the energy level of this kid if you're Vanderbilt, talking about Ashton Hagans. If you do not, Kentucky can swallow you up in the first 4 or 5 minutes of a ball game. So far for Vanderbilt, so good.
Good job by Disu there, handling the ball, waiting for Maxey to sprint by, and that freed up Evans to go for that baseline layup.
Another clean look, right, by Jerry Stackhouse tonight?
Always. NBA clean. 18 years an NBA star, Jerry Stackhouse.
John Calipari pressing off the missed free throw. And Downing icing that side ball action of Vanderbilt early.
Pippen looking for a second 3. High arcing shot, too short. Hagans breaks out. Quickly 3. No good. We're going to get a foul on Nick Richards here as he pushed Dylan Dessou out of the way. Remember the last game, Richards had a couple of quick fouls and had to go to the bench.
I think that's a scouting report draw of a foul by Vanderbilt. Nick Richards runs rim to rim as well as anyone in college ball as a 7-footer. Sometimes he runs with a little bit of a reckless abandon, which you love if you're John Calipari. Vanderbilt, I think that time just stepped right on his path.
David Lee with a mismatch. Richards has one foul. He gets taken to the hole, and a reverse by Saban Lee, who scores 17 a game for Vandy.
Kentucky trying to force everybody to their weak hand. If you do that, the backside rotation, Ravi, defensively has to be engaged. Kentucky not on that play. That's what I'm talking about. Watch Nick Richards. He comes out to take on the ball handler right here, and he's forcing the action this way, but where's the help? You got to come over, man, and make a stand. And Kentucky right now being bothered by that high lifted offense, spread offense by Jerry Stackhouse.
Foul there on Obina. Richards may have gotten away with another push. And that shot from Maxey good for 3. Nick Richards gets his hand up, and you'll see a Vanderbilt uniform go to the floor. Dessou, he launches and buries it. That's a 3.
You got to be there on the catch. I know he's only shooting 24% on the year, but Ravi, he has taken 63 three-point attempts just in conference play. That's the most of any Commodore. That tells you Jerry Stackhouse feeds confidence to this kid at that stretch 4.
A warning on a flop. They gave a flop warning. Dylan Dessou was called for that. You watch Calipari and Stackhouse work the sideline. You look at Memorial Gymnasium. This is obviously a unique venue. It was built in 1952. Players are both on each baseline as opposed to the sideline, which we're all accustomed to seeing. And you coached in this building, so what kind of challenges does that present, or perhaps opportunities?
Yeah, I tell you, the one challenge, Ravi, is when they are right in front of you and you're on the baseline, you have to not buy into over-coaching your team, because you can literally talk to all 5 guys when they're right there in front of you on each half. And I struggle with that in this building a couple of times. And you see where Jerry Stackhouse is right now. Right, he's right here. Look at Stackhouse. And those coaches spend a lot of time away from their bench. Calipari's 30 feet away from his bench right now. Right. So any feedback that you want from your assistant coaches, well, it's got to be dialed in quickly.
Obina picked up his second foul. He's out. They go right inside. And how about E.J. Montgomery right over the top of Dylan Dessou?
That is rebounding at a Final Four level, something that I've questioned Kentucky on over the last couple of 3 weeks. Going right through bodies. Terrific job by Montgomery.
Pippen driving, and it's deflected by Montgomery. 3 from the top from Moyer, way off. Probably not the shot off the bench that Jerry Stackhouse wanted. Maxey with a blow by the alley-oop, but he threw it behind Nick Richards. Dessou to the hole, and he has it picked off. What a read by Ashton Hagens, like a defensive back.
Yeah, the best in college ball at those transition defensive plays.
Battle underneath, ball on the floor, and everybody's down there to fight for it. Call a jump ball. It'll be Kentucky's basketball on the possession arrow.
The energy of Vanderbilt so far in this game has matched Ashton's Kentucky.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Progressive Insurance. Get slam dunk savings today. Visit progressive.com. We got energy, we got excitement in the SEC on ESPN, Kentucky and Vandy. You inherit a lot of the baggage that goes with it, and that losing streak was some of that baggage. They then went and lost against Auburn, so as a result, LSU's now 8-2, so is Kentucky, and so are the Auburn Tigers. And the schedule, at least on paper, LSU's got road games at Alabama, South Carolina, Arkansas, and Florida. Maybe the toughest road. Auburn's won 5 in a row. And Kentucky, wherever they play, like this, the building's generally full. A lot of times it's full of their own fans, but it's full.
You know, I sat in the studio that night and watched Vanderbilt take down LSU, and a couple of things. LSU guarded nobody. They guarded nobody in that game, but Jerry Stackhouse was terrific, Ravi, at attacking the 2 or 3 weak defenders of LSU for 40 minutes, and it paid off with a big, big win.
David Lee kick, 3, Evans corner, and he gets the friendly roll.
This is a kid, Maxwell Evans, that's a 30% three-point shooter, but he shoots it with 50% confidence. And those kind of guys can get hot in a hurry.
13-6, they get it to Richards down low, and he picks up the foul.
At shoot-around today for Vanderbilt, we asked Jerry Stackhouse what that LSU win truly was. He said, validation. It's validation for the way they're working to transform this program. He told us today they heard the noise. They heard all that noise about the conference losing streak that had stretched to 26 games, and they had to bear that noise. But most of them weren't even here for it. He said they embraced it, but it's just not something they discussed, and now it's over.
Buying a house and all of a sudden discovering we have to redo the entire first floor. He had nothing to do with that losing streak. They embraced it, he got the victory, and now it's Stackhouse's team.
Well, I think Jerry Stackhouse, throughout that losing streak, continued to teach, continued to build confidence in his guys, and did not have a month beatdown with him. This is an uplifting guy when you're around him, with an uplifting spirit and presence about him. And I think that's evident in how it paid off last week. And Kentucky's in for a battle tonight. They're already down 13-6, and Vanderbilt's getting clean looks against that Kentucky defense.
Sluggish start. Montgomery goes to the bench. So does Richards. Keon Brooks, who's played better lately, and Nate Sestina into the game for Kentucky.
Yeah, Keon Brooks is a live body now, number 12 in blue, sitting right there on top of that restricted arc.
4 on the shot clock. He's going to have to launch, and a high arcing shot that tends sometimes to go in off the window. Just draws back iron.
Kentucky just not letting those Vanderbilt guards get to their strong hand.
Maxey buries a 3 from the corner. Pippin Jr. late getting over there, 13-9.
Tyrese Maxey is a hooper. He shows up in big time for Kentucky in big games, but at the end of the day, this guy is just a flat-out baller. And you know I love finding the backside of the play in transition. Great things happen when you throw that skip pass. You create a bad closeout, you find open shooters, and Maxey did a terrific job running deep corner.
There are no secrets with Jimmy. We all know what tendencies are, and you like that cross.
I like that backside bomb.
Disu open for a 3, rattles in and out. Maxey, by the way, had the 3 on one end and then a big block on the other. Sestina, some of the players have begged him to be more aggressive. He was there. Good rebound there by Matthew Moyer. Looked like he may have rolled an ankle, but he's back up and running. Higgins' hands getting away again.
Well, his eyes, talking about Ashton Higgins, they play in front of the play on both ends.
Evans cuts, right hand, nice layup. That play went from being potentially really ugly to working out really well for Vanderbilt.
Yeah, it was all because, and the description of you was tremendous. The hard cut, the violent cut by Maxwell Evans off that baseline drive. Automatic 2, good curl by Maxey.
And that's what he does, man. That teardrop for that little floater from Tyrese Maxey. He's having a good game so far with 8.
He really wraps screens well, Ravi. He goes shoulder to shoulder like sparks fly when he goes off the screens, just like you want to teach it.
Evans contested 3, too strong. How about the offensive rebound in traffic? And Evans kicks. There's that cross court to Disu, who takes it inside. Evans squared up for that 3, and he buried it. Credit Jordan Wright, though, with a great offensive rebound to get that all started.
Yeah, absolutely. Vanderbilt deserved for that one to go in, because they outworked Kentucky on the boards, and then they got the ball from side to side on 3 passes with a lot of speed.
Maxey working to get open. Another floater on the baseline, in and out.
That's a hard shot. Kentucky, they do so much of the 2-man action between a guard and a big throughout a ball game.
Pass, and quickly was able to step in front. Second turnover. Looks like Emmanuel quickly may have gotten poked in that left eye. So we'll take a timeout. You mentioned the number they're they're climbing towards it with the threes they've hit so far.
If they get to double-digit threes, Ravi, that's going to be a good sign. The ball was hot that time off the offensive rebound. Vandy moved the ball, taking it in there where they want. And right now, Calipari knows he's in a fight in Nashville.
Class of six-string dreamers riding into town on a song and a prayer. Many have the talent to emerge successful, but on Broadway, the next guy is pretty damn good too. 1 month from now, Music City welcomes 14 teams with SEC championship dreams. Many have the talent to emerge successful, but on Broadway, the next guy's pretty damn good too. We certainly saw the parity in the Southeastern Conference when Vanderbilt did beat LSU, and perhaps the best statistic that illustrates the parity in the conference right now is the fact that 7 teams are within 2 games of the number 4 seed in the conference. Mississippi State, Florida, South Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama, Texas A&M, and Arkansas, all within 2 games of that 4 seed. Who knows what's going to happen when we're back here in 1 month for the Southeastern Conference tournament, gentlemen.
I know this. It will be fun. It will be unpredictable. That's for sure.
Yeah, and that 4 seed is so important because you get a couple of days by and start till Friday. And look at this game early, Ravi. Kentucky has to defend that 3-point shot. That starts with guarding the basketball. Vanderbilt, 46% of their attempts in conference play are from the 3. They're tracking that level right now.
They're going to get E.J. Montgomery, Jimmy, with the offensive. We'll send it back to our studio to get an update.
How about this, Farney? Penn State up 12 at Purdue. They've made 10 3-pointers. Penn State, Final Four, good maybe.
This is a team that can advance, and Lamar Stevens hasn't really done a lot this game. 2 early fouls, put him on the bench. It's been that guard play that picked him up, Coach.
Penn State, for real. Look at your bracket. Advance them.
Greenberg back in the studio with Fonz. I think the point there that's to be made is the bucket is made inside by Wright. This sort of Final Four good concept applies maybe to more teams this season. Coach Calipari was talking with us earlier today that perhaps in any season of recent memory, there are so many you could say Final Four good, where in years past maybe 9, 10 teams.
Yeah, at this point, I think we'd be zeroed in on those 9 or 10 teams. Not right now. Again, Cal made the point very clearly today. 20, 25 teams, I agree, could find their way to Atlanta for the Final Four. There's probably 10 or 12 that could legitimately win it. Kentucky, one of them. Struggling in this game early to stay in front of the ball. That's where guarding the 3-point shot all begins.
See Johnny Juzang check into the game, number 10. Maxey contested that, but another 3. That one from the corner drops. Brayley Albert into the game.
The reaction by John Calipari, Ravi, tells us all. As soon as his shot went in, he made the dribble motion, telling his guys, stay in front of the basketball. We can't get in closeout situations. Kentucky's been so good at it this year, and so far in this game, just struggling.
Nick Richards was aggressive on that offensive rebound and was thrown down to the floor by Albert, frustrated with a foul. Next year, Champaign, Illinois, 22nd ranked Illinois hosting Michigan State. It's not even number Michigan State. Spartans have won 5 of the last 7 against them, including a 20-point win on January 2nd. You can see it live on the ESPN app as well, but you kind of get into the habit of saying number, and they're not ranked. And they are like several others that were ranked in the preseason who are currently not, including Virginia, the champion. Ohio State was so good for so long, and they've fallen off as well. Circus shot, rebound on the offensive glass, and Jordan Wright's making an impact.
Yeah, this is a defensive problem for Kentucky in this building early. It's just not 1 or 2 guys driving the ball. Vanderbilt's driving the ball from all 5 spots with regularity.
12-point lead, largest of the night. Hagan's aggressive. He used that arm to push off. No call made. Richards with the follow.
Yeah, Jerry Stackhouse.
He's right on it.
The hot ear of Byron Jarrett trying to make the point.
You saw it, didn't you?
Absolutely. Like you pushing off me. The buffet today early.
Contributions from a variety of players tonight. That's an impossible shot with E.J. Montgomery right there, but still 7 on the shot clock.
Another drive.
That time Maxey with the block. He's got 3 early, and Juzang runs out with Hagans.
He walked.
They didn't call it. Loose ball picked up by Albert.
Jerry Stackhouse running a 5-out offense. All 5 guys outside that 3-point line, just finding the isolation, finding the mismatch, and attacking. There it is again.
Out of bounds off Maxey. Watch Higgins extend that arm.
Right there, yeah. That
was the offensive.
That's an offensive
Then there's
foul.
the arm extension.
Yep. And Jerry Stackhouse all over it. This is a guy that just absolutely loves ball. Got into coaching, told us today, by coaching his son's team in the 7th grade at the grassroots level. Grew as a coach through that grassroots system into some time there in the NBA G League and international ball. He is a terrific teacher of the game.
That time the 3 was contested, and they had a box out quickly. The other way, Circus pass because he got stuck up in the air, and that is a Kentucky turnover.
Like, where are you going if you're Emmanuel Quickly right now?
Exactly what Coach Calipari was asking.
That was a 1-on-4 attack at best. Calipari asking the same question. What are you doing? Where are you going? Slow down. Vanderbilt has us sped up right now at a pace that we don't need to be playing.
Sestina into the game for Maxey. And Scottie Pippen Jr. back in. His dad, Scottie Pippen, in the house tonight. Came to a bunch of games early. He is here tonight.
Yeah. I could use those glasses on my jet later on, getting out of here. One of the top 50 players of all time in the NBA. That guy right there from small town in Arkansas, Hamburg, Arkansas. Just a beautiful athlete, a beautiful person. And he's done a tremendous job of teaching his young son the game of basketball. He gets fouled at a high rate for a freshman. Not the fleetest of foot, but this kid knows how to play now, bringing that ball up the floor.
Vanderbilt 25-15. They have hit 5 3-pointers here to start.
Look how high and wide Vanderbilt continues to run their offense. Trying to get a mismatch, trying to get a paint touch and a kick.
2 on the shot clock. This one has to go up. Another high arcing 3, and boy, that was halfway down.
It was.
Jordan Wright. Higgins drops it off. Keon Brooks in traffic, gets it to go.
How about the ability of Brooks to run out in front of the play? Because you know the speed that Higgins brings it with is about as good as you have in college basketball. And Brooks played out in front of the play on the low block.
Tough assignment for Pippen Jr. with Higgins on him. There's the drive. Contact, but no foul, and the ball goes out of bounds. They'll discuss whose ball it is.
Ravi,
they're going to say Vanderbilt ball.
The Vandy threes now, Ravi. Let's just keep tracking them. Can they get to 10, 11, or 12 makes in the game? So far, they are tracking that. It's the spread offense, putting Kentucky in bad closeouts right now. Kentucky has a lot to deal with in their timeout on the defensive end.
Deal with it.
Deal with it.
Fifth Saturday, they are in the top 10 right now, and Tom Izzo's Michigan State Spartans unranked. We're back here with Vanderbilt leading Kentucky 25-17. Carl Ravitch, Jimmy Dykes, Marty Smith. So January 29th, Vandy had a 7-point lead at the half. They shot 52% from the field. And like that night, when they shot 42% from 3 in the first half, they're doing the same thing again in this half. And they lead by 8. Couldn't hold on that night. Will it be different tonight? There's 3-pointer number 6. Dylan Dissou, the freshman, knocks it down.
Yeah, Kentucky chasing on the defensive end as opposed to guarding. That's a big, big difference. That's the kid that you have to make him put it on the ground, Ravi. At 6'9", he's going to get guarded shots off all night long. Make him bounce it.
Good job by Stackhouse. Out of the timeout, had a set play.
Yeah.
Discussion as to whose ball it was. Keon Brooks open underneath. That one by Pippen Jr. deflected. Richards throws it up. Can't get it to climb over the rim. Six 3-pointers for Vanderbilt in the first half.
Again, all 5 guys in white outside that 3-point line. They may cut in temporarily.
Look at Higgins' hands there, Jimmy.
Do not dribble handoff with Ashton Higgins' guy.
Saban Lee will pick up the foul. Crowd here didn't like it.
Ravi, Ashton Hagans is the best in college ball at blowing up any type of a dribble handoff type play. And Ashton Hagans is going to eat this play up every time. He can shoot in front. He can come from behind with a big wraparound rake. Ashton Hagans is as disruptive as we have in the college game. I think he's like a Patrick Beverly type guy waiting to happen at the next level.
Pretty good compliment. You hear the boos because they just showed it on the big screen here above half court. Hey, the crossover is back for a 7th year. And lo and behold, circle that dude there in the middle. Who's that?
How about that tomorrow night? Lakers and Nuggets with my guy Dave Pash and Jeff Van Gundy. I cannot wait to get out there. And
Jimmy Dykes gets the call. We certainly hope Jay Billis feels better. In fact, by the end of that game, America is going to hope that Jay Billis feels better. Doris Burke is back too. The next night she'll do the double Memphis-Cincinnati along with Bryce Drew. You saw Walton, Colorado, Oregon with Mark Jackson. That should be a lot of fun. And it's all we've heard about from Jimmy since he got the big call from Dave Sicer today. His face has been frozen in this look of astonishment.
The world has waited for Jimmy Dykes, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis in the same building at the same time.
Hagans picks up the foul. Here's John Calipari. He's upset, but let me reenact. Hey, Jimmy, you got a second? I need you to call me.
Yeah, I do. Okay, what do you got for me?
Are you free tomorrow night? Do a game for us.
Yeah, what is it?
It's going to be Nuggets and Lakers. And that hasn't left us. That's all we've gotten the whole day. Nothing.
We have this amazing opportunity to spend time in fellowship with Jerry Stackhouse. And the very first question Jimmy Dykes asks Jerry Stackhouse is, hey, man, can I talk to you about LeBron James? Because I have a Lakers game tomorrow night. Ravitch and I are just sitting there like, he's already wadded us up and thrown us in the trash, man.
And he had a great answer. I'm not gonna tell you what he told me tonight. Yes, must watch Jimmy tomorrow night.
Significant development while we were talking about that is Hagans picked up 2 fouls and Dissou drains another 3. He's got 3 of them, 9 points, and a blowout right now for Vanderbilt, their largest lead.
Kentucky not able to stay with the stretch 4, now the stretch 5 that Jerry Stackhouse is putting on the floor, drawing the bigs of Kentucky out and making them defend on the perimeter like a guard.
Coach Calipari's observation of the first game, quickly threw it up there. He's going to get fouled on the floor. They will not send him to the free throw line. But Calipari said, I was shocked. Where did number 1 come from? Dylan Dissou. He, of course, the freshman out of Texas at 6-7 points a game, the 6'9" forward. And here you see it. Kentucky has made 7 field goals. Vanderbilt has made 7 3-point field goals.
Vanderbilt's going to hit double-figure threes in the first half. And I talked about it earlier. Dissou only a 24% three-point shooter. But you have to look at the number of attempts that Jerry Stackhouse has allowed him to take in conference play. A team-high 63. That tells you Stackhouse sees something in this guy to give him that freedom.
Kentucky in the bonus. E.J. Montgomery's going to check back in. The 2 quick fouls on Ashton Hagans in a matter of about 30 seconds sent him to the bench, and they were right in front of his head coach. See tonight, Calipari looking for the right combination. Richards on the bench. Sestina's been in and out. Juzang's on the floor now. Deion Brooks getting more significant time.
Kentucky is out of rhythm on both ends of the floor, but it's starting on the defensive end. They're being put on an island. All 5 guys are having to guard on an island with Jerry Stackhouse keeping the floor spread, isolating guys, and just hooping. Basically what they're doing.
Out of bounds. It's going to be off Brooks. Calipari says that's not right.
Yeah, Tony Barbee and Kenny Payne giving an earful to Nick Richards.
11-point Vanderbilt lead, 4:55 to go. If I said they'd be up 11 and Saban Lee would have 2 points, you'd look at me like you usually look at me.
Right.
It's like,
what game are you watching?
Where are you?
Yeah. That's terrific news for Vanderbilt. Double up high action. Nice dive out of it, and open 3 because of it.
And Lee knocks down another one. Vanderbilt has 8. He's got 5. 14-point lead.
And you can feel Memorial magic in the building.
to the top of that SEC right now. A three-way tie. LSU, Auburn, Kentucky, all 8-2. Quickly stops, had a shot and didn't take it. Maxey, tough three in the corner. And that's tipped up and in. I think it was Juzang who got his fingers on it.
Kentucky better not get into a three-point shooting contest against Vanderbilt. They better attack that paint, get between the pipes, and get on the offensive glass and body blow their way back into this game.
Lee just knocked down a three. He's got Juzang on him, and he blows by him, throws it up. They're going to get a foul, and John Calipari is upset at Emmanuel quickly. 34-22, under 4 to go. And not a great birthday present for the Kentucky coach. College basketball on ESPN. Our presentation brought to you by Zaxby's. Hand-breaded chicken and fresh ingredients made to order. Only at Zaxby's.
Studying up on the NBA, Jimmy. Back to Ravi.
Take a look at some of the numbers in Tess's point as you look at these numbers. And, of course, Aaron Nesmith, who was the best shooter, the best scorer for the second year in a row. Vandy loses their top scorer to an injury. Do you consider getting away from the one-on-one defense and maybe going to a zone for a while as you take a look at Nesmith there, who is sitting on the bench tonight?
Yeah, it's amazing that Nesmith has missed 10 games and he's still third in the league and made three-point shots. That's how valuable he was. But to answer your question, Kentucky does have a zone, and it's a big zone. And John Calipari does not like to go to a zone, but he's at a point in the game right now that his man-to-man and his matchups are not working. Seth talking about in the studio, guarding the three starts with guarding the ball, and no one for Kentucky can do it right now.
Guys, John Calipari telling his young men that dribble penetration is just killing them. It's led to all those three-pointers you've been discussing ad nauseum. And when they do get caught chasing, someone has to help, and they're not rotating correctly. And ultimately, you see what's happening. Now, one stat that you should keep in mind as we progress here, you may look at the scoreboard and be shocked, but during the 7-game winning streak that Kentucky currently has over Vanderbilt, they've had to come back from double-figure deficits 4 of those 7 times.
No, that's a good point, and they have made a habit of that. They've also made a habit of going up by 6 or 8, and instead of the lead growing to 12 to 15, it tends to shrink down to 4 to 6. But yes, they have had to come from behind in a number of these games.
Not like Kentucky doesn't have struggles on this end of the floor as well. Vanderbilt keeping the ball out of the paint, which you have to do against Big Blue.
Montgomery misses the runner, and Disu clears. You just get the sense, too, that this guy with the ball, Saban Lee's about to go off. He took it hard to the hole, and he was contested.
But what a blow by Saban Lee.
Actually, his floater off the wrong foot gets the roll.
And he had to make it against a short closeout. Vanderbilt doing a good job of packing the paint, making sure their closeouts are short, not long, forcing Kentucky into guarded shots.
Richards has been somewhat inactive. He's got some fouls, but he's also only has 4 points. He sat on the bench after picking up that first foul.
And there's no panic at all in Vanderbilt's offense. Keeping that floor space, taking the ball anywhere they want, getting good looks.
Good ball fake, but Pippen Jr. threw it over the rim.
This is typically where John Calipari wants to pound this thing in the paint. At least get to the free throw line and get on that offensive glass if there's a miss.
Chance to get it to 9 or 10. That ball off the leg of Disu, another turnover, and he compounds it with a foul.
Terrific job by Dylan Disu to impact the ball screen that Tyrese Maxey was trying to work off of. One in white is being hot on both ends. He's knocking down threes, and his ball screen defense, a big part of the reason why Kentucky cannot turn the corner, cannot get in the paint, cannot get the ball on the offensive rim for those offensive rebounds.
6th foul against Kentucky. Good point. Somebody asked us today, is there a more explosive guard in the SEC than Saban Lee? That last blow-by may have answered that question. Maybe a no.
There's none more explosive.
Moyer takes Richards to the hole, basically trying to draw a foul, and he didn't.
I love Saban Lee in white. Think about all the losses that Zero in white has gone through the last couple of years. This kid right here, that dude is a warrior, man. He brings it every single game. his Valentine ain't based on wins and losses. That dude loves to play.
Next on ESPN, Champaign, Illinois, 22nd ranked Illini hosting Michigan State. Spartans have been very good against them lately, winning 5 of 7. You can see it live and on the ESPN app. So you want to be number 1. Good luck with that.
Ravi, think about this. Michigan State, the first number 1 preseason team to fall all the way out of the top 25 since Kentucky did it back in 2013, 2014. That was the NIT year for Kentucky. So for a number 1 preseason team to fall all the way out of the poll doesn't happen very often. In a big week for Michigan State, at Illinois tonight and then Maryland on Saturday. It seems like Michigan State needs to for sure get one of those.
It's a unique year in college basketball. A little different year this year. Richards jump hook. You can't block it, but it rolls out. That's the way it's gone for the Wildcats in the first half.
And a good job by Vanderbilt to force Nick Richards about a step, maybe a step and a half higher than where he wants to catch it on that left block.
Lead is 12. There's that speed of Lee, and I think they're going to get Juzang, who tripped him up. Second on Johnny Juzang, and that'll send Saban Lee, a terrific free throw shooter, to the line.
Ravi, all fast guards play low. And this kid plays low now. He's 6'2", but he gets down and gets his shoulders almost at the defender's waistline. And he's drawing 6 fouls a game in SEC play. 27 at Auburn back on early January, 33 against LSU. An explosive score now if you can't stay in front of him.
Missed opportunity.
This will probably be, well, it's a zone by Vanderbilt, so it takes John Calipari out of his stack call.
Richards, boy, he got 2 defenders up in the air and tried to make a pass to Montgomery. He wasn't looking. Richards didn't see where Montgomery had gone.
And I give that credit to Jerry Stackhouse to throw zone at Calipari's team with just over a minute to go. Very well done.
Stackhouse, who of course started at Carolina, played 18 years in the NBA. I said, do you find yourself coaching against coaches or the players the real difference makers? He said that's a loaded question, but he certainly pointed out the players being the difference makers, and there hasn't really been a scheme that he hasn't been exposed to. Of course, he was coached by the legendary Dean Smith. Quickly steps into it, and they're going to get a foul on Lee. Late call from Don Daly, our crew chief.
Well, in a game like this, the last 50 seconds are critical. In Kentucky, they went zone on their last defensive possession, gave up an open corner 3 that didn't fall. And there's the fill behind by Emmanuel quickly and the foul. That's Saban Lee enough contact that Don Daly says, let's go to the line. You didn't like it?
I'm sure he and his dad, Anthony, had a lot more contact growing up.
They probably did. You have to protect those shooters.
Listen to Jerry Stackhouse.
Go, let's get it, let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. Attack, attack. Get in the middle of the attack. By yourself. Good, Ray. No middle now, you good. Good, yes, sir. Keep rebounding, keep it in, and keep challenging everything, man. I love it, keep challenging everything.
You know what's cool about that, Ravi? He wears a microphone, I believe, every game.
Yeah.
And he goes back and listens to what he was saying during the game to refresh what his thoughts were. I think that's way out there thinking. I think that's tremendous. I look forward to visiting with him more about that down the line. But he grabbed that somewhere from either his NBA or his G League days. I've never heard of that, a coach being mic'd up so he can go back, watch the game film, and listen to his voice and his thoughts at the time. I love that.
Well, you do that after every game. You go back and watch.
You and I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as a coach, you go back and watch the game, but you don't listen to your words. And I think that's some really forward thinking by Jerry Stackhouse. You and I should try it more often.
Lee, 3, in and out. Last shot here with 5 to go, and it's Maxey who'll push it. Contact floater, no good, in and out, and that'll do it for the first half. What a half for Vanderbilt, looking for their 2nd win in conference. Second time this year that Vanderbilt has led the Cats at the half. First time they were unable to hold on to it. Let's go to Marty.
Coach, you said you needed 10 to 12 threes to be in this thing. You have 8 already in the first half. How would you assess your team's performance?
I think we've been competing, man, and we're right on pace. All right, we still need 4 or 5 more, but, you know, we've been seeing the ball going a little bit. We've been having great energy. Got to box out a little bit better, but they've been doing a great job.
The defensive effort, too, has been tremendous. What was your perspective going into the game with the defensive side of the ball?
Just to compete, man. Make sure that we made sure those guys felt us from the start of the game. I think, you know, these guys have length and they got really quickness, so a lot of people try to back off of them. We want to get up in them and make sure that we pressure them and make them make some plays under duress.
Thank you very much, Coach. Appreciate it.
Kentucky shoots 32% from the floor. Good job. Keep it simple, silly. Play tough. Jeep halftime report with Kevin, Seth, and Sean Farnham following the break. Presented by Progressive. The SEC on ESPN, and a shocking development in the first half where Vanderbilt has a 36-27 lead over Coach Calipari, who sits there in front of an empty bench just moments ago, designing and going through the offensive plays, trying to get some more points out of this team. On the other side, kind of amazing as Marty Smith joins us shortly. Vanderbilt came in last in the SEC in three-point field goal shooting at around 25%. They went 8 of 17, shot almost 50%.
Here's the story of the first half. Vanderbilt has 17 points off of uncontested shots. Kentucky only has 6 points. Uncontested, wide open look after wide open look for Vanderbilt in the first half, and they've made some guarded shots as well. But when you have 17 points, like Vanderbilt does in the first half on uncontested shots, that tells you a lot about Kentucky's defense or lack thereof. Now, Kentucky offensively has their own hands full. What Jerry Stackhouse has done, he's making threes on one end and saying, Kentucky, you can't make threes on the other. I'm going to pack the paint back off of you and hope that you take threes in this ball game. And so far, the offense has been spread out between Evans, Dessou, and Lee. And for Jerry Stackhouse, like you said, Ravi, to have the lead and Saban Lee to only have 7 points, man, that's good news for the Commodores.
Sure is. Kentucky has historically this season not been a good three-point shooting team, and they have 2 of those. They've attempted only 5 of them. This is a team, Calipari likes to shoot between 20 and 24 of them. They're way down in that number this year, and they're really down tonight.
Yeah, Kentucky does not shoot the ball from 3 at a Final Four level. They don't always rebound at a Final Four level. They do block shots at a Final Four level.
What a block by Nick Richards. It leads to a blow-by by Ashton Hagans. What a block by Richards.
Nick Richards was huge in the second half against Vanderbilt the first time these two teams played. And his energy to start the second half far beyond what it ever was in the first 20 minutes.
Lead down to 7. Pippen's got Richards on him, and now quickly comes out to help. Kick to the corner, open 3. Saban Lee misses. Kentucky can climb closer.
Yeah, Kentucky gambles, man. They go and double the basketball late clock and give up an open 3 in the corner.
Hagans penetrates, wrap around to Maxey. They'll keep it with Kentucky basketball.
Kentucky has blocked a lot of shots in this game already, Ravi, and it's the quickness and just the recovery speed and length that you have to deal with. That is the 8th block in this ball game for Kentucky.
27 points at the half were the lowest for Kentucky in a first half this season.
The Go Big Blue chant starts the Memorial Gym. The crowd probably 50-50, maybe 60-40 Kentucky.
Richards, Obina back in, and Nick Richards looked like he threw that down into the basket. And you go back to the end of the first half, a 9-0 run for the Cats.
Yeah, and John Calipari, you know what the coach emphasized the first couple of possessions offensively. Get the ball inside to the power part of the floor. Well done by Nick Richards.
Pippen in traffic picks it up. Richards had 6. And nowhere to go. Another block, their 9th of the game.
That length man of Nick Richards, so hard to deal with. It just triggers the transition of Kentucky. Man, you got to make layups, right? Layups.
Easy layup for Hagans.
Yep.
10th block of the game. Richards got that one. Quickly to to the hole. No contact. Second consecutive missed layup for the Cats. And Lee will shoot the three and make it.
Barry, that is a huge 30 or 45 seconds for Kentucky to miss back-to-back layups in transition and then give up a three. And this thing was getting ready to be a 4 or 5 point game, and just like that, bam, back up to 8.
Higgins has been more aggressive driving the basketball to start the second half.
Kentucky can sometimes have a crowded floor with 2 bigs on the floor with Richards and Montgomery. Montgomery now spaces out a little bit more work room.
Lead back up to 8. Lee driving. He had nowhere to go. It's Richards who's on him. And here's Higgins with a flush.
At some point, Vanderbilt's decision at the rim with the ball has got to go to next level because they're getting to the rim, and time again, the length is chewing them up. Rim decisions, kickouts, keep the ball moving if you're Vanderbilt right now.
Educate Obina 50 didn't play many minutes in the first half because of the 2 fouls. Nate Sestini getting set to check in. Corner 3, Evans, too strong. There's Obina, throws it up with his left hand. Looks like they're going to get a foul on E.J. Montgomery underneath. And Obina will shoot 2, Marty.
Guys, I talked to John Calipari exiting the locker room, and he just kind of shrugged his shoulders. He was shockingly calm. He said, they made a lot of threes, and we missed a bunch of bunnies. What really frustrated Cal in the first half, though, was the constant dribble blow-bys by Vanderbilt's guards and the fact that his guards could not reciprocate those blow-bys. He said, we're trying to play the exact same way, and they're beating us.
Yep.
They were up on us at our place, and we were able to come back. Let's see if we can do it again.
It's all about the position of your hips defensively. And Cal, I've watched him a couple of times in timeouts, just demonstrating to his guys, like, why are we opening up and allowing blow-bys? Square your guy up, understand when we're forcing weak and when we're not. And if they can get that part of their defense tightened up in this second half, Kentucky will find their way back in a win. But I love that shot right there. The coaches so far away from their bench, isolated in their thoughts, not getting help from their assistants. A unique coaching experience in this building.
Obina 50%, missed them both. So in the end, it all comes back to the hips.
And most times in life, it's some critical stuff.
They want Richards to keep throwing that in, and he banks in his second one.
Just go back and watch the last game film. John Calipari knows when Nick Richards gets going on either block, but especially on that right one turning left shoulder, he loves that angle.
Higgins trying to blow it up, and instead he got an arm to the face, and a good move by Pippen Jr. inside the paint.
And he knows how to play. He #1 in the SEC in terms of freshmen getting to the free throw line. Just keeps you off balance, a little perky jerkiness about his game. Hard to handle.
Timeout here. It's getting physical. 6-point advantage for Vanderbilt.
The energy level of Nick Richards has gone to another level to start this second half. The blocks, the length, the quickness, his recovery speed is terrific. You think he had him beat, he makes a second effort to race an automatic 2. And now this is Nick Richards. That's his game right there. Post up in front of the rim, can go over his shoulder. Kentucky's starting to make a run.
Back everyone, Jimmy Dykes, Carl Ravitz. So earlier this week, we kind of sent out some feelers. Anybody wanted to call into the program and ask us some SEC-related questions. We did get some people to do that. Here's the first.
Hi, this is Buzz from College Station. Absolutely love your show. I plan on attending the SEC tournament in Nashville next month. What advice can you give me since I've never been? I appreciate you taking my call. I'll hang up and listen. Thank you.
So I assume he's taking this from the perspective of a coach versus somebody who you could do a lot of different things in Nashville if you wanted to.
There's only one Buzz in College Station. We know who that was, by the way.
Yes.
Well, my first advice would bring enough clothes to stay for all 5 days or 4 days that you play. I mean, plan with a positive mindset. I think the Grand Ole Opry, if you can work it in, is tremendous. Great Southern cooking, live music in the building. and complete chaos and uncertainty, I think, this year in that SEC tournament. It will be wide open, Buzz.
Boy, physical play, both sides of the ball, and Hagans can't convert again. A little bunny. But we'll get Marty's take, too, on things to do in Nashville. Probably a little bit different than you just brought up. Three, top of the key, drained by Dylan Dissou.
I'll just say this. Whoever's guarding Dylan Dissou is coming out. He made 3 or 4 in the first half. You cannot let him trail a play. You have to make him put it on the ground. And Keon Brooks is coming in for Nate Sestina.
He's got 12. He averages just over 6 a game. Hagans wide open to the lane. He goes, and this time he gets it to go.
Well, he goes at your chest now. You rotate over and elevate in front of that restricted arc. It is not a yield sign at all for Ashton Hagans. He goes through your chest and through your chin as well as anybody.
David Lee, a lot of dribbling and a tough pass at the feet of Evans. Hagans comes away with it. Maxey ahead of the field. Good pass. What a pass from Hagans to Maxey.
The angle was crazy for Hagans to see that and deliver it. And great hands by Maxey to catch a hard pass in stride and the finish.
It's like Keon Brooks and E.J. Montgomery getting set to check back in. Pass underneath. Obina. Sestina with the block. 11 in the game for Kentucky.
Kentucky starting to win the collisions at the rim on both ends of the floor. Let it fly.
Extra pass. 3 is knocked down. Emmanuel quickly. And you can feel the momentum now on the side of Kentucky.
And that was the right pass, not the extra pass by Sestina, because the challenge was coming. And one more hot pass, the right pass from number 1.
Oh, what a take by Pippen Jr. How about it?
Again, the angle of the hips opened up, and Vanderbilt's going to attack it every time.
Mentioned a few minutes ago, Sestina was guarding Dissou. He's coming out of the game. He had a big block. If he knocks down a 3, do you ever say, you know what, Keon, hold on?
Yes, absolutely. You can change your mind for who he's going in for.
Maxey into the lane, look out. No foul, but he makes the bucket, and it's a 2-point game.
I love the decision by Maxey. Yes, Sestina was wide open in the corner, but Maxey was not going to settle for a jump shot on that possession. Again, the message from Cal to his guys at halftime, get to the power part of the floor.
Not the shot that Dissou should have taken there. Sestina was open. Maxey instead, look out, contact. And a chance for Kentucky to tie. Maxey got hit pretty hard.
Kentucky has turned this game into a body blow game. It was a finesse game early. The pass from Hagans to Maxey was outstanding. And Ashton Hagans with a pass ahead, a lights out defender, taking care of the ball well in the second half. Nate Sestina with an energy toughness play. It has become a heavyweight bout, but it's body blow after body blow after body blow by Kentucky. Nothing finesse out of the Cats in the last 3 or 4 minutes.
Montgomery, Brooks into the game. Richards, Sestina out. Chance for Kentucky to grab a lead. Something they haven't experienced all night.
Kentucky with their Spain action, which hurt Vanderbilt in the first game. Vanderbilt cleans it up. It's not an easy offense to defend.
On the floor, Stackhouse didn't like that. A reaction right in front of us. Call that on Pippen Jr. Already talked about it earlier. A whole bunch of comebacks this season for Kentucky. But how about during the 7-game win streak against Vanderbilt? 19, 14, 12, and 10. They trailed by 14 in this one at one point. It's not a habit you want to get into, but it has worked out well. They're going to call that on the floor, and that time it was Jordan Wright using the body. All of a sudden, the Kentucky Big Blue Nation here at Memorial Gymnasium. A little louder, a little prouder of the way their team is playing.
Gobi.
Marty, take a look at the top of that conference. Auburn 8-2, Kentucky, LSU right there. And Marty made the point. You got 3 teams bunched at 6-4. And Rick Barnes' team at 5-5. Buzz Williams called in and said, we plan on being there. They're also 5-5. Again, looks like the toughest road ahead. As the shot is missed by quickly, E.J. Montgomery will go to the free throw line. Toughest road ahead could be for LSU with the road games. 8 games to go. And there's a big one, of course, Auburn at Kentucky on the 29th. And next week, Kentucky goes to LSU, which is a huge game. You'll see that on ESPN Tuesday at 9 Eastern time.
Yeah, Ravi's a huge game Saturday on the Plains. LSU at Auburn went to overtime. Just a crazy game with crazy finishes, a championship feel in the building.
Yeah.
And Kentucky, LSU, and Auburn starting to separate themselves from everybody else in this league.
Pretty amazing. Vanderbilt offense tonight, 7 in the paint, 10 3-pointers they've made, but they've also had 11 field goal attempts blocked.
Kentucky's had 5 different defenders block a shot in this game. It's not just Nick Richards and E.J. Montgomery.
Corner 3 out of the break. That goes halfway down. First half, that was going down. Not here in the second half. Hagans pushes Maxey. Reverse layup in the paint. And the Wildcats grab the lead.
And it's been all body blows by Kentucky to grab the lead.
And Hagan's penetration's been a big difference.
Yeah.
Lee the kick. Pippen, that's Maxey on the floor. They go. Still on the floor, and good job by Pippen Jr. He calls timeout. But Hagan's penetration and 8 of the 9 field goals for Kentucky in the second half have been scored in the paint.
Yeah, the speed of Hagans it's hard to guard, it's hard to handle. And when he's coming at you with a full head of steam and has the ability to put on the brakes and make good reads, Maxey playing out in front, Big Blue making a statement.
Nuggets tomorrow night at 10 was the promo leading into our game.
Big game, big game.
It's huge. Last 4 games for Ashton Hagans. So you see the turnovers, 6 at Auburn, 6 points, 2 turnovers, Mississippi State, 10 and 5. Last 5 games, 22 turnovers. Tonight, a lot better, and you can tell, Marty, he has taken over here in the second half.
He absolutely has, Ravi, and he told me a couple weeks ago, this team goes as far as I'm able to take them. Today at shoot-around, I asked him, how far do you think that is? He said, we're really special. We can go really far. The way that Nick Richards has evolved, the way Emmanuel Quickly has evolved. We do need Nate Sestina to step up and be more aggressive for us, but it's up to me to take us there. We can be really special.
Ravi, the invisible parts of the game are sometimes the most impactful, and those don't show up on that stat line of Ashton Hagans, because he can completely disrupt not only the guy he's defending, but the entire offense. You have to screen Ashton Hagans when he's on the floor defensively. You have to move him, and you cannot run dribble handoffs with the guy that he's guarding. You talk about blowing up a ball screen.
He'll do it.
He will do it.
But for Vanderbilt, who had been so great coming out of timeouts, they just had a shot clock violation, and it was as if they forgot how much time was on the clock. Speaking of clock, it took 29 minutes for Kentucky to grab its first lead of the game. That ball will stay with the Wildcats. 29 minutes. And for all the Ashton Hagans talk, one thing that has been overlooked tonight, he has now got 10 rebounds.
Yeah. Coming down and rebounding and igniting the break. He's a physical, tough guard, man, and does not shy away from contact or big moments. Jerry Stackhouse goes zone right now for Kentucky, seeing if they will buy into taking threes.
Maxey right on, and how about that rim? It's been very friendly tonight, both teams.
Hagans is a defender, Maxey is a baller, and Quickly is a shooter. But a baller is also a hooper and also a shooter at times, and that's Tyrese Maxey right now.
How much were we asking as Vanderbilt folks? Can we shoot 8 of 17 from three-point land again? Where are the points going to come from in the second half? Because they're way off in the second half.
Yeah, if Vandy can't start getting paint touches and getting blow-bys like they did in the first half, the threes aren't going to come. And Kentucky's starting to suffocate right now on any type of drive action. And there's the friendly bounce and what over the years has been a shooter's gym.
Stackhouse had a few of those go in his career. Played for 8 different organizations. 16,400 NBA points.
And he had a dunk in the North
did he
Carolina
have
Duke
a dunk?
game. That is all-time moments in that rivalry. Thought it was interesting. I said, did you watch the Duke-Carolina game Saturday? He said, you know what? I watched it all the way up till we took the floor at Mississippi State. That rivalry never goes away once you're a part of it.
All right, for the younger folks, you could YouTube it, but we'll do it for you.
Good effort by Slicker. Stackhouse. Oh! He's ramming, he's jamming, and he's slamming. There he goes. Ram, jam, slam. Bam! Look at this, America. A reverse one-hand slam.
Right by Cherokee Parks, Cherokee people, Cherokee Nation. It just blew him up.
Yes, they did. Tremendous athlete, huge hands. Looks like he can still play the game at about any level he wanted to.
The big league shoe game going tonight. I mean, this is right in Marty's wheelhouse.
I can't see Marty's shoes. And I can't see them. They're camouflaged tonight.
I will say, gentlemen, it takes a lot to impress me when it comes to another man's suit game. And Mr. Stackhouse has made his way towards the tip of the spear in the Southeastern Conference coaching ranks. I might ask him who his tailor is. I got a really good one. Maybe we'll just maybe we'll exchange.
Look at those shoes.
And it's like a two-tone dark brown, tan.
They're big enough to ride in, too. You put those out on the river.
I think Marty has no feet tonight, though. I still can't see him. Can we show Marty's shoes? They are tremendous.
Crowd likes that as Pippen Jr. will go to the free throw line, and we will go to the shot of Marty's shoes because you have demanded it.
We need to see that the camera. There they are right there. Where's your foot, Marty? I can't see it.
I'm really not that flexible.
Then, Marty, could you wrap that leg around the back of your neck? Ooh, quickly contact. Calipari wanted to travel, won't get it. 2 cookies called against Kentucky.
But only the 3rd team foul in this half. Kentucky not only playing suffocating defense on the perimeter of the second 20 minutes, but doing it without fouling to the last 50 seconds.
Quickly to the bench, 8 points in the game. 7-point cushion for Kentucky. They trailed by 7 at the half.
Got him.
And they get Higgins. That's one of the risks in blowing up the handoff.
Yeah, he was behind the play that time. Put in a little bit of a bad angle because he's the on-ball defender. So he's automatically trailing the play to start with because he has to protect the front of the rim on the pass. And that's the one area you can get Higgins right there because he's trailing the play because he has rim protection until the ball is inbounds.
They quickly never really sat down. He's back in the game. Richards, and they are just picking up fouls real quick. That's 4 fouls in about 30 seconds, maybe less. Next on ESPN, Champaign, Illinois will watch the Illini take on Michigan State. The Spartans have won 5 of the last 7. Cassius Winston hoping to get his club back into the rankings. They are unranked, and a little floater from Saban Lee.
That's a big minute right there. Kentucky now with 5 fouls, boom, just like that. And Vanderbilt closes it down to 5. Fouling is keeping Kentucky from being a top 10 defensive efficiency team. They're number 54 in the nation. That number has to get better if they're going to be a Final Four team.
Richards position on the baseline. He gets doubled. Juzang launches. Tyrese Maxey will pick up the foul, and that'll send Pippen Jr. to the free throw line. A little more aggressive now from Vanderbilt.
Yeah, Kentucky's gone from 2 team fouls to 6 in a period of about 90 seconds. And that's Vanderbilt now getting back to what they were doing in the first half, Ravi. Man, at times just bull rushing the rim, man, lowering their shoulders, getting low, driving that ball, putting pressure on Kentucky at the rim.
Pippen Jr. in and out, 72% free throw shooter. Now take a look at it. Last couple of Tuesdays, the SEC has seen big-time double-digit comebacks. You saw Missouri from 20 down against Georgia. Auburn against Mississippi. Mississippi State. Tonight, in fact, Kentucky and Ole Miss both trailed by 10. And now both of those teams, as we see here, and Ole Miss winning tonight.
Barry, that just sets up a wild, crazy week in Nashville in that SEC tournament.
Tough pass. It gets all the way through to Quickly. He's met on the baseline. A turnover, a returnover. And Emmanuel Quickly, three. Got it from the corner. They'll call it a 2.
Alert play by Kentucky defensively. And then another find by Ashton Hagans. Man, he has seen everything in this game.
Big spot in this game, and an ill-advised 3, but Lee follows it. He'll kick it. Evans, they need it. No good. Feel it, Jimmy. 55-48, 7.5. Kentucky's got all the momentum right now.
Yeah, and they got the play calls now by John Calipari on this end of the floor. He wants them to be a player-driven team, but even his own guys have said, Coach, we need your help every now and then.
How much they paying you?
Yeah, on the road.
To coach a little bit.
Well done.
Maxey with a drive right by Pippen Jr. and Jerry Stackhouse. They consider a timeout.
Cal got exactly what he wanted out of a two-man game, and you get Maxey, Hagans, any of them coming downhill on the catch. Almost impossible to keep them away from the rim.
Moving screen, they'll call that against Albert.
This play right here by that young man, Emmanuel Quickly, is consummate. Emmanuel Quickly. John Calipari continues to seek and preach a player-driven team, but he told me today in order to achieve that, the players must hold themselves accountable. He said he's got one guy who does it. Emmanuel Quickly does it.
Now, Tyrese Maxey's got 21 points, but this has been the Ashton Hagans show in the second half.
Yeah, Rob, you look at his numbers. He's got 10 rebounds in the game. Has 8 points. How about this? 5 assists and only 1 turnover. The kid's played almost 25 minutes. So he has rung the bell at a key time for Kentucky to be down at the half. What is your point guard going to do in the second half? Is he going to set the rules of the game, set the tone, check yes and yes from Ashton Hagans, because his speed and getting the ball inside with terrific regularity has just triggered this run by Kentucky.
Amazing. And again, you know, one of the assets of Kentucky is you have these great 3 guards. And between them, Maxey's got 21 points on 9 of 15 shooting. Quickly's got 10 points, and he's been off tonight. 2 of 9. Dangerous team in the postseason because their ability to handle and shoot. Cross court to Keon Brooks. Baseline, he got trapped there. He shot over a double team and came up with an air ball, and then he compounds it by picking up a foul.
Well, Vandy is stuck on 10 made threes in this game. And they have missed 3 open threes in the second half. Those unguarded shots they are now missing. That's the disadvantage if you're a player in this game. When you make a mistake on the baseline, the rear chewing starts immediately.
Well, they've got to start converting here. 0 for 4 with their free throws. 0 for 5 now. 5 chances.
Free throws and layups, man. Go back and grade every game film. Miss free throws, miss layups, they cost you ball game. That open corner action for Kentucky is so good, man. Those guards, they seek it, they hunt it.
Hagans, oh, what a pass to Richards. Outstanding. The Ashton Hagans show continues.
Ravi, I told you, he's seen everything in this game. He's seen every angle. He's seen overarms, underarms. The passes that he made have been terrific in this game. 1 in transition and that one in the half court.
High arcing must make 3 for Pippen Jr. Keeps him within striking distance.
Yeah, just keep the game pressure on Kentucky if you're Vanderbilt. Get this thing to that final media timeout. Trying to hang on. Lucky circle action. This is circle 2 right now for Maxey, playing that 2-guard spot. Just making him work off those 2 bigs.
Again, Evans with a hold. We've seen 2 outstanding passes tonight from Ashton Hagans.
Yeah, he sees this so well, and Nick Richards rolls out of it and then makes a second cut. The second cut by Richards, the second step got in the vision of Hagans. Watch Nick Richards. Step, boom, step again. Well done, man. Ashton Hagans delivers a fastball between 2 defensive hands right on target.
You're going to see some Kentucky players, ex-Kentucky players tomorrow night.
Yeah, Anthony Davis. That's a Lakers team that, and the star power they put on the floor, 2 of the 5 best players in the world.
Sports Center tonight, right after the Michigan State-Illinois game. Bucci and John Anderson are there. Legs breaks down the Clippers and Sixers. Zion's return against the Blazers and the impact of baseball's cheating scandal with spring training. You saw former Astro Marwin Gonzalez come out today. Talk about how disappointed he is in himself and the team. There was some serious contrition, which we have not heard from many or any other Astros players. Lee on the baseline. There'll be a foul there. Calipari typically animated on the sideline, but for a guy that celebrated the birthday yesterday, we left the cake in the rearview mirror.
Yeah,
we moved on from that.
Wanting to get a stop right there and keep this thing a double-figure lead, couldn't get it. Ball handler picked up his dribble and he allowed a back cut. A foul because of it.
Free throw goes. The cake that was left for Coach Cal by his wife. Cal enjoyed his birthday dinner with his daughter Erin here last night. There's Helen, his wife, and his daughter, who is a doctor here at Vanderbilt University.
He kissed Nick Richards on the forehead after that Texas Tech win. A sign of encouragement to him for his big guy. It was kind of stuck.
Lane violation, Emmanuel quickly. Ashton Hagans looking at Calipari saying, good call, we got it covered here. Quickly was in there early.
These guys on that free throw lane cannot leave until the ball leaves the hand of the shooter.
Lead is 8, and some full-court pressure now from Vanderbilt.
Calipari told his guys today, if Vanderbilt presses us, think we're going to score 100. Attack, attack, and attack again.
Hagans dribbles all the way through traffic. They'll get the foul on the floor, but boy, you can tell when he has the ball, he feels like we are going to score at least 2 points on this possession.
That is terrific recognition by Hagans to remember what John Calipari said in this building about 7 hours ago. He said the first time they press us, go, go, man, go. Do not back that thing out. Attack, attack, and attack again. And Ashton Hagans right on cue. Ashton Hagans on that Cousy point guard midseason finalist list. Jared Butler at Baylor is terrific. Trey Jones at Duke. Tyrese Halliburton now out of Iowa State right here. He could have backed it out, could have kind of had a moment where he didn't want to be in attack mode, but boy, he stayed at it and sought that rim and got to the free throw line because of it. Peyton Pritchard on that group as well.
Hagans missed the free throw, but he's zooming towards a triple-double tonight. 1 more point, 4 more assists, and he'd have it.
Ravi, I really think he can be a Patrick Beverly defender in the NBA. Just a constant, harassing, disruptive guy that can get underneath your skin. He's actually bigger and more physical than Patrick Beverly. I saw Patrick 7 or 8 times in college at Arkansas.
That's very high praise. Richards gets the foul on the floor, but Patrick Beverly is high praise.
Yeah, he's an all-NBA defender and a kid that has fought his way into that league and has done a tremendous job of it. Hagans is wired the same way, man. The competitive fire, the juice is always there, and there is no back down from Ashton Hagans. You could put Hagans on a point guard or a 5-man in any ball game, and that dude's going to bring it. He's going to bring the fight, man, and that's a great value of that at that next level.
No doubt about it. Lee gets that free throw to go. Kind of inching back in using the free throws. Calipari's been chewing the ear off of Pat Adams and Byron Jarrett for a lot of the second half. You thought that Quickly had been fouled on that last possession.
Kentucky cannot keep fouling at the rate that they're on. I talked about it earlier. That's what's keeping them.
What is that a product of? Why do they foul so often?
Yeah, a lot of reaching, a lot of being out of position when your guy catches the ball. So now you're in a bad closeout. It's a combination of things. But Kentucky has. Look at this.
Quickly with the assist right into the hands of Jordan Wright. They'll press again, and it is a. Nope, they'll stay with Kentucky. Nearly another turnover. But with all the great guards, you'd figure a press wouldn't have this effect on them.
Yeah, but Kentucky caught it in that hot corner right off the inbounds pass, and that mentality Cal wants to go attack, attack, attack. It all starts, where does the first pass come in if you're Kentucky? There is no attack mentality when you're catching in the dead corner in that tight baseline.
That was Kentucky's, believe it or not, only their first turnover of the second half.
Wow. The shot clock now gets reset. I thought my live eye, I thought it was off of Kentucky. Nope, they got it right. Yeah, that's it. Ooh. Under 2 minutes, you'd be looking at that one.
Vanderbilt crowd chants defense.
Wow,
and a turnover for Richards. They are rattled right now. He threw that right to Don Daly, the official.
What a meltdown by Kentucky in their press offense. Struggling just to make one pass.
Lee and Quickly got him back on his heels. Maxey comes away with it, and he's going to the hole. Ball is deflected out of bounds, and everybody on the Kentucky bench looking for a foul. There isn't one. We got ourselves a heck of a final 4 minutes coming up here at Memorial Gymnasium. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Progressive Insurance. Get slam dunk savings today. Visit progressive.com. Back in a moment. Yeah, it is a thriller here. That is a bit of a shocking score right there. But Breon Tyree, when he plays and he's healthy, he's got 32 tonight, Jimmy.
Wow, this is just a dead cut right here by Tyrese Maxey. That just sets himself up for trouble. And then you got number one, Dessou, who is 6'9". Bam, that's a dead cut into the dead corner. And Dessou now with the long arms disrupts the pass, and Wright steps right in front. And all of a sudden, just like that, the lack of press offense execution by Kentucky, and it's anybody's game.
That layup there was the first paint point since the 13-10 mark of the second half. Quickly wide open. He's been rock solid all year from three, and he knocks it down.
How about that? John Calipari says, let's go to our backup plan, plan B. Drive the ball, force the conversion, and quickly you fill from behind and send a dagger. Very well done by Cal out of the timeout.
Lead back to 8. Dessou pushed out of bounds by E.J. Montgomery.
Ashton Hagen's going to drive this ball down the pipe right here. Drive it, and watch Quickly just space out. That's the Spain action. So you have Quickly setting a back screen for Nick Richards, which forces a little bit of help and allows Quickly to step up top. That Spain action bothered Vanderbilt in the first game as well.
Keep an eye on Nick Richards. If he's favoring, he says he's okay.
Ravi, how important is this free throw make for Vanderbilt? Not because of the 1 point. It's going to allow them to get their press set up.
Yep. In and out. Good rebound, Montgomery. Stackhouse knew that was a big miss.
Yes, you could have cut it to 65-59 and have your press on.
Higgins 7 assists.
Same action.
Quickly 3. Another one.
Big time. That Spain action, the stack action that Kentucky calls it. They're back screening Nick Richards with a shooter and getting just enough separation for Quickly to hit back-to-back threes. Beautiful basketball by Kentucky.
Disu traveled and they didn't call it, but a turnover. And he's limping, coming back. Higgins. DJ didn't take it. Emmanuel feeling it.
No. You're up 9 on the road. Choke this game away. Use clock.
Higgins with the drive.
As good a point guard play as you'll see in college basketball tonight by Ashton Higgins on the road.
All of a sudden, a 13-point cushion for Kentucky. Foul on Nick Richards. That's his 4th. Ashton Higgins has got double-digit rebounds, 9 points, and he's got 8 assists.
That's just all that is Nick Richards is starting up top like he's going to set a ball screen. He's then diving out of it and receiving a back screen by Emmanuel Quickly, who then steps to the perimeter. Back-to-back threes off of it. Then the third play call is Higgins just to lower his head, bull rush the rim, and finish this game off.
Man. Those numbers, Jimmy. 11 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. Those last 2 put him into the double-double category, and he's got a chance to get a triple-double.
Ashton Higgins keeps playing like this. Kentucky's going to work their way up into a 3 or 4 seed. I really feel like they can do it. And you look at the national scene right now and what those seeds look like.
Are we taking the jet out of the hangar?
Yeah, roll it out.
Who is that guy?
The fog has cleared. As of right now, Baylor, Kansas, Gonzaga, and San Diego State will be up in first class. Those would be the 1 seeds. Right behind them, nipping at their heels, saying, move your luggage out of my way. Louisville, Maryland, Dayton, and Duke. And at the back of the plane, man, Indiana and Virginia trying to hold on. And they're just a spilled drink away or mismanaging how they sit down and bumping into someone from me saying, you're out. And think about that. Indiana not being in the NCAA tournament possibly again. Virginia, a team that won the championship last year, maybe couldn't make the tournament. The Jet right now, man, all those seats are so interchangeable and movable. Those teams in first class, they are as vulnerable of being moved as any time this late in the year.
Yeah. To be moved from first to business, can you end up back where the I don't say blue water is?
I don't think they'll go back to the blue water. The number 1 seeds won't right now. They could certainly be shoved back to business class, which there's nothing wrong with those seats.
For the crowd that's watching this game, the idea that Kentucky is ranked 12th and yet wasn't in the top 16 that the committee came out.
Yep.
It's a fair question to ask, how's that possible?
I think the 1 loss to Evansville is the one thing that whoever's making that decision can.
That seems to take on an inordinate amount of weight.
It does, but that's the only thing that I can think of that you could say, you know what, and here's why. Well, a lot of teams have that 1 bad loss this year. Now, that's a bad one. Evansville is in a downward spiral right now. But you watch Kentucky play, you look at their numbers. If you know basketball, you know that Kentucky has to be one of the top 16 teams in college ball.
And you would agree with that, right?
Absolutely, I would.
I would too.
Now the press again, just handle it one more time, the game's over.
2 assists for Higgins will be the 4th triple-double in Kentucky history. Alley-oop to Nick Richards with an exclamation point.
They handled it one more time. That's all they needed. They could not afford a turnover and keep game pressure on. And boy, that's the gamble when you press Kentucky. Those bigs coming out of the dunker spots to finish it off.
Disu was one of the hot Vanderbilt Commodores in the first half. They have really cooled off in the second half, shooting that 3 ball.
What a comeback by Kentucky in the second half. They've done it twice now to Vanderbilt this year.
Maxey with a drive. That's up and in.
I'm telling you, I know Quickly made a couple of threes. There was nothing soft about Kentucky in the second half in terms of how they played offense. They were the aggressor. They played downhill. They attacked the paint time and time again. They executed on the play calls. And the press break, after stumbling over it 3 or 4 times in a row, there's the dunker spot. There's Nick Richards. He had 2 options, Montgomery or Richards. And then the seal-off by Montgomery and the downhill play by Maxey. Kentucky and Big Blue Nation starting to take control of Memorial Gym.
Nick Richards out of the game in a Nick Richards-like performance this season. He ends up with the 12 points, 7 rebounds. Jerry Stackhouse said he wanted how many threes?
Between 10 and 12.
He got 14.
Yeah, man, it's not enough. And that's the juggernaut that Kentucky can be. Talking about Nick Richards, he's right there at the top for me in terms of SEC Player of the Year.
Near turnover, but now Hagans is on a run out. This could end up with another alley-oop. Instead, he challenged Disu, who was there to block it, but the follow is good.
The fight in this kid, Ashton Hagans, gets punked at the rim and comes right back up and just makes another defensive deflection. I think the SEC Player of the Year, Ravi, I've always thought should go to the best player on the best team. To me, that has it narrowed down to either Nick Richards, Samir Dowdy at Auburn, or Skylar Mays at LSU. One of those 3 guys should be the SEC Player of the Year.
So you're out on Perry, and you're not putting Hagans in the conversation.
Well, yeah, or Hagans could absolutely work his way up there, but it should come off the best team in the league. That guy right there he's making a strong case.
All right, so have you been studying? Should we ask you some questions about the Nuggets' depth?
Not yet.
But you have a long flight, direct flight.
I got phone calls to Jeff Van Gundy and Dave Pasch waiting on.
You'll be doing your study, and Jimmy will be part of the crossover where you have some of the college analysts calling NBA games and vice versa. So Doris Burke gets involved, the Fonz gets involved with Buck Pacers, Jeff and Jimmy. Scottie Pippen deciding to exit stage left here. Mark Jackson and Bill Walton will call Colorado, Oregon. Did I hear you say that you and Fran Fraschilla will be doing a game minus any play-by-play person?
Yes, and the world will stop, and it may not turn on its axis anymore. It's going to be such a magical moment. At Gonzaga, Fran Fraschilla and I believe it's on February the 20th, Gonzaga in San Francisco.
Right.
Just 2 guys talking ball. We're going to see what it feels like, and that Gonzaga team, the best offensive team I've seen this year. And they are a real threat, Ravi, to get to Atlanta, if not win the whole thing. I'll miss you. You can do a phone in that night like Buzz did in this game.
Okay, yeah, no, I'll definitely do that. Send me a text to remind me. We expect to have more phone-in questions over the next couple of weeks as we move towards the SEC tournament. Hagans looks for the blue in the crowd, trying to get them to cheer a little louder. It's going to be Kentucky with another victory after trailing big time in the first half. A 28-point swing in this one. And they will run off the final 2.7. Well, good luck with the NBA game.
Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, the 2 of the greatest players in the world, LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and it's going to be a heck of a ball game as well.
That's tomorrow night at 10. You get your next fill of Jimmy Dykes. That'll do it from here. Derek Mobley, Scott Matthews in the truck. Back Mike Schiffman, our big boss, for coming to keep us company as well. With Marty Smith and Jimmy NBA Dykes. I'm Carl Ravitch saying so long, everybody. We send it back to our studio.